Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
It's a pleasure to have the senior senator from Texas with us. Senator John Cornyn is joining us now live from Capitol Hill. Senator, welcome back to Bloomberg TV and radio. I'd like to start with the economy and the news on the semiconductor space that is getting a lot of talk and moving markets around here. Before we get to some of the other issues that we'd love to ask you about, NVIDIA investing $5 billion in Intel following the president's announcement of a federal stake in the chip maker. As well, the deals the president announced, 15% of China sales from NVIDIA and AMD to go to the U.S. government. I'm wondering your thoughts on this. Is this the best move to shore up domestic semiconductor manufacturing? Or does the conservative Republican you feel like this is state-run capitalism?
Well, as you know, we made a major investment in bringing back to our shores American advanced semiconductor manufacturing, since we only were doing roughly 12% of it. And I think many people, including me, recognize this is a national security risk when so much of it was housed in South Korea and Taiwan. And so having Intel manufacturing advanced semiconductors in the United States is a positive thing. But of course, we've all watched all the problems that they've had with their now with a new CEO, and they are struggling, it appears. But if you read the history of semiconductors, this is nothing new. It's a very tough, competitive field. But I have no objection. In fact, I'm glad to see NVIDIA see that as an investment, a good business investment.
Senator Cornyn, the 10% stake, however, that the U.S. government now has in Intel, as you mentioned, has been touted as a measure of national security. There's other areas that are touted as measures of national security, including energy independence, something driven by your state and others in the South. Does the government need to be taking stakes in things like energy companies and specifically oil companies?
No, I don't think so. Unfortunately, we do find ourselves vulnerable to the supply chains on things like critical minerals and rare earth elements, since China processes 90% of those and uses that as leverage against us. And of course, these rare earth elements in particular are essential to make the magnets that go in virtually every electric motor that runs. And they really have us at a tremendous disadvantage. And we just, I think, have not anticipated this in, among other things, but it's emblematic of the strategy, long-term strategy China has had to make the United States dependent on them for exports, and demonstrates that they have a full across-the-board strategy to try to undermine American investment and to maintain that virtual monopoly. So this is a pretty worrisome situation. But I would say in the energy sector, we are doing very well. We just need some of the regulators to take their boot off the neck of some of the businesses here in this country, and they will flourish.
Senator Cornyn, I'd love to ask you what's happening in terms of government funding. We're, of course, staring down a September 30th deadline. Can you confirm that the Senate is leaving today? That's what we're hearing at Bloomberg, as opposed to staying around town for the weekend to maybe hammer out a deal or get a vote on a CR. What's the latest on this?
Well, of course, the deadline isn't until the end of the month, so we still have a little more than a week. But the fact of the matter is, right now, Democrats are making a demand which is completely unreasonable. They want us to deal with something more than keeping the lights on, keeping the government open, which is what a continuing resolution is, as you know, until November the 20th. Sure. And they want to use this as leverage, a potential government shutdown as leverage to extract trillions of dollars of additional spending in terms of healthcare subsidies. We're happy to have that conversation, but not right now.
Understood. Are you heading home tonight then? Will you come back next week? Has Senator Thune given you directions on that front?
I think that's still up in the air. First thing we need to do this afternoon is confirm about 45 nominees to cabinet, sub-cabinet positions that the Democrats have been holding hostage. But I know those discussions continue, but no resolution yet.
I know you need to run, Senator, but you've seen this movie a couple of times. What's your gut tell you? Are we going to shut down at the end of the month?
You know, it's a lot of unnecessary drama. And yes, I have seen this movie before. And it's embarrassing, frankly, because the government and the Congress ought to be able to figure out how to keep the lights on, how to keep government funded. But unfortunately, things have become so polarized and so partisan that it's hard to get some consensus on something as simple as that.
You don't sound that confident.
Well, I don't expect to shut down, but
Okay.
right now the demands that are being made, I think, are unrealistic, and we're simply not going to go there.
Senator John Cornyn, Republican from Texas, we thank you for being with us. Come see us when we have more time on Bloomberg TV and radio.